When Nintendo announced Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon last December, my first thought was of the drastic shift in genre and style used for this new prequel, fearing that even The Witch of Umbra would fall into the vicious circle of spin-offs created to extend certain sagas. Fortunately, once I experienced the title for myself, I realized that all of my concerns were unwarranted, as I had one of the most stunning prequel experiences on the market in recent years. The title will allow us to accompany the young witch Cereza and the Cheshire demon on their voyage through Avalon's forbidden forest, home of the hazardous fairies, and so uncover the origins of the iconic Bayonetta through an adventure inspired by classic storybooks. Once upon a time, Cereza, an apprentice witch, dreamed of becoming strong and confident. This apprentice witch was a bashful kid before they started dubbing her Bayonetta, but she was desperate to find her now lost mother. So she set out into a dark woodland teeming with fairies and steeped with old power. Cereza, on the other hand, was never alone. She always had her Cheshire puppet with her, ready to lend her a helping hand. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon is a departure from the now iconic canon to which we have grown accustomed over the years. On the narrative front, the story is told through a book of fairy tales, with a narrator describing and presenting the numerous dialogues. The plot not only allows you to learn about Cereza's background, but also about the entire universe built around the Witch of Umbra, making it the greatest way to start the saga if you've never had the chance before. The whole game can be completed in about 15 hours, exceeding 20 if you decide to explore every corner of the forest to find all the secrets hidden in it. In fact, the title allows us to return to hours, allowing us to discover numerous secrets previously inaccessible due to skills not yet obtained. The game environment is separated into macro areas, which can be accessed via a special menu that also displays collectibles and places of interest. Among these are the notes and the sprites, which are useful for comprehending the complex history associated with the country of Avalon and the creatures that inhabit it. In comparison to preceding chapters of the narrative, the title is significantly simpler, proving to be widely accessible to a large audience, including children. The game environment is separated into macro areas, which can be accessed via a special menu that also displays collectibles and places of interest. Among these are the notes and the sprites, which are useful for comprehending the complex history associated with the country of Avalon and the creatures that inhabit it. In comparison to preceding chapters of the narrative, the title is significantly simpler, proving to be widely accessible to a large audience, including children. The game also allows the player to customize the difficulty by selecting features such as the damage inflicted with each strike and how many help to receive throughout exploration. However, once the adventure is done, additional challenges will be available, captivating the attention of the most ardent and those who found the title overly basic. The game also allows the player to customize the difficulty by selecting features such as the damage inflicted with each strike and how many help to receive throughout exploration. However, once the adventure is done, additional challenges will be available, captivating the attention of the most ardent and those who found the title overly basic. The gameplay of Bayonetta Origins, along with its new artistic sector, has sparked the greatest debate since its debut, with the game eschewing action canons in favor of a more relaxing puzzle adventure. This decision is underlined further by the decision to allow Cheshire to have both a demonic form and a mere puppet guarded by Bayonetta. Cereza and Cheshire will be able to choose between two alternative movement modes. The first allows the two to move independently and each be controlled by a different Joy-Con, while the second allows Cheshire to return to a puppet and be pleasantly conveyed by the little Cereza. This gameplay transition is always very quick, based on the pressure of a single key, R or L, both in exploratory and combat phases. Several times along the trip, we will have to change strategy to tackle the different challenges, always selecting for easily intuitive answers. One of these is the ability to hurl the Cheshire puppet into ordinarily inaccessible areas, where he may subsequently be remotely transformed into a demon and a new shortcut created. Cheshire can also use elemental transformations, which become available as the main story proceeds, to get access to previously inaccessible areas. The first transformation, for example, the Wood one, lets you to utilize the demon's tongue to fling objects or store explosive devices, providing interesting strategic clues even during combat. Similarly, Cereza will know how to contribute to the team, relying primarily on her young witch abilities. One of her initial spells, for example, will allow us to make plants that have not yet blossomed grow swiftly, allowing us to create fresh alternate paths or even bridges for faraway locations. Unlike Cheshire, who can utilize her talents by simply pressing the ZR or R key, Cereza will have to focus on the beat of witch, a sort of minigame in which we must move the movement analog stick appropriately according to the needed locations. The battle stages, on the other hand, are a little more tedious, penetrated by the constant weight of having to handle two different characters at the same time. The foes encountered can only be vanquished by the demon version of Cheshire, and even Cereza won't be able to affect the outcome much. As a result, the young Lei will only provide as a temporary aid to the demon, pinning opponents by her magical vines. The challenge, at least until you get used to it, is controlling both characters during these phases, where we will literally have to run away with Cereza to avoid a game over, and hunt adversaries with Cheshire to beat them before our demon gauge runs out. If this runs out, Cheshire will revert to a puppet until he can react again. The future Bayonetta, on the other hand, will be able to use potent potions capable of recharging her life points, represented for the occasion by numerous flower petals, or making her invulnerable for a brief period of time. Both protagonists can also be upgraded using two distinct currencies found in the game environment, which will allow us to increase, for example, Cheshire's combo moves or the rate at which Cereza's magic bar recharges. Bayonetta Origins transports us to a vibrant, dynamic world depicted in watercolors, giving the player the sensation of being inside a narrative. The various colors and graphic renderings also allow you to catch the distinctions between the three worlds that have collided, that of witches with Cereza, demons with Cheshire, and hazardous fairies. The game does not have any flaws in terms of technical or performance, and it also has a superb Italian translation that does not take away from the overall work's extended comedic elements. The soundtrack's numerous tunes are also unforgettable, capable of keeping us company, especially during the exploration and backtracking phases. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon is suggested to all fans of the progenitor tale of the same name, and it also serves as a wonderful chapter to begin if you want to have a first look into its universe. From its fights to the unique riddles offered, the game is suggested for a wide audience, having fun and delighting all age groups. A title not to be overlooked, especially for the aesthetic sector, which is not so common in works of this type.